guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today I'm really excited because I have enough books to do a book haul video. So I'm actually going to do two separate parts for this because one is a library haul and the other is a bookshop haul. So I don't actually go to the library very often because I am lucky enough to be able to buy a lot of my own books. However, I decided that I wanted to go try out the sort of small branch of the local library near me. The main sort of Oxford lending library is currently closed for renovations, so it's not going to be open until November. I opted to go to the one that was within walking distance from me. It's quite small, but they actually had a really nice selection. So the first book that I got is one that I've been meaning to read for absolute ages. There's a movie that's based on it that I really love, and that is Dottie Smith's I Capture the Castle. She's also the author of 101 Dalmatians, for anyone who thinks that her name sounds familiar. I Capture the Castle tells the story of Cassandra, and she and her family live in kind of this crumbling castle. So it's kind of about Cassandra and her family, her sister Rose, who's very beautiful. She has this kind of well-intentioned but kind of eccentric stepmother named Topaz. It's almost like a journal. It's like a diary of Cassandra's while they're living in this castle. It has one of my favorite opening lines ever, which is, "I am writing this in the kitchen sink." Who hasn't been there before? So the next book that I got actually fits in with October quite well, and that's Stephen King's Misery. I have never read Misery, I have never seen the movie. I have seen that very famous clip with the block of wood and the sledgehammer, and I will not watch it. However, I have been really looking forward to reading this. So if you don't know, Misery is about a man who's an author, and he has this kind of hugely best-selling series of books, and he decides, I guess, that he wants to write sort of real literature, so he kills off his main character and ends this series. He gets into a really bad car accident, and when he wakes up, he's sort of in the home of his biggest fan, his super fan. This does not go well. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I love Stephen King. This is one of his big books that I've never read, and I think that now is the perfect time to get into it. So the next book that I ended up getting is Con Iggulden's Stormbird. So this is the first, I believe, in a trilogy about the War of the Roses. It's a historical fiction novel. I've actually read this already. However, I read it when it came out in paperback in the UK, which was, oh god, I don't know, 2014? I remember I bought it while I was on holiday here and none of the other books were out, so I read it, I loved it, was not living in the UK, did not get a chance to buy up the rest of them and read those, so now they're all out, they've all been released, so I want to go back to the beginning and reread this. I remember really enjoying it. It's very kind of well-written historical fiction, and it's very engaging, and it's one of my favorite time periods in British history. I think it's absolutely fascinating, so I'm really looking forward to rereading this and then getting the rest of the series, which they do have at the library. So last but not least for my library haul, I actually have Mad Adam by Margaret Atwood, and I'm laughing a little bit because I am so used to trilogies being named for the first book, and I knew that this was the Mad Adam trilogy, or at least that's what I know it as. So I picked up this one, not realizing it was actually the third book in the trilogy. This is the conclusion. I have not read the first two, so this is unfortunately going to go back to the library, but I'm pretty sure that I saw the first one there. So at some point I will begin this trilogy, just not yet. So that's it for my library haul. So now I have a little bookshop haul to show you guys. And we were up in Liverpool recently. We went to this huge Waterstones. It's kind of right in the city center in the sort of Liverpool 1 shopping development. So if you ever get a chance to go, then you should really visit this Waterstones because it's amazing. So the first thing that I got was Laini Taylor's A Night of Cake and Puppets. This is the companion novella to the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I've read the first book, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I was not a huge fan, but I loved her writing and I loved the character Susanna, who is the star of this novella. So basically, off-screen in Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Susanna, who is Kaoru, the main character's best friend, goes on a date with the guy who will become her boyfriend. So this novella is that date. Something that I really love about this book, and the reason that I actually ended up picking it up, I usually don't buy novellas, that is the illustrations. So this book is actually illustrated by Laini Taylor's husband, which I think is really cute. I really love that. And I really like the art style in this. I think that it suits the book really well. If you've read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, you'll know what I mean. So like, here, this is a good example. So I really love illustrated editions of books. I think that they're wonderful. This is probably going to end up being a book that really is complemented by the illustrations. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be my next read. Next up is a book that I bought because of BookTube. So I saw one of Read by Jess's recent videos and that featured this book. It's contemporary YA. I usually really try to avoid contemporary YA, but this sounded great. So this is Holly Bourne's It Only Happens in the Movies. So this book is about Audrey and Harry. They work together in a cinema. They meet. She tries to kind of avoid him because he seems to be sort of this perfect movie trope character, and she's trying to avoid him, but naturally she's attracted to him anyway. So the thing that I really love about this is that apparently it really tears down a lot of the romantic comedy tropes. There's a bit in the book that someone had posted on Twitter that really sold me. I can't remember who it was. If it was you, thank you. But basically someone tells Audrey that she's not like other girls, which if you are someone like me, you know that that is like one of the most deeply insulting and stupid things to say to someone. And she just goes on a rampage against him, and I was like, yes, I'm going to really enjoy this. So I think that this is going to be a quick read, and I think that this is one I'm going to pick up soon. So the next one, and I'm going to be really embarrassed because I don't know if I can pronounce her name, but everyone knows her and everyone loves her. So I picked up All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Steve. Anyway, so from what I understand, I've actually not read her other series, which is very popular, The Raven Cycle. I have The Raven Boys on my shelf right now. This is her brand new book that just came out, and from my understanding, what she does really well is sort of like small town America magical realism. So I was really interested in picking this up. I don't really know what it's about. It's got a back cover that's quite vague, but it takes place in Colorado, which is a place I've never been, but I've always kind of had these wonderful ideas about. I don't really know what to think, but I am really looking forward to this. So the last book that I have in this video is one that I have been searching for ages, and I've had so much trouble trying to find this. The first time I tried to find this book, it was completely my fault. I accidentally had the American release date instead of the UK release date, so I was running around Oxford looking for this book that wasn't actually out yet. But since it has actually come out in the UK, I have not been able to find it anywhere. I have a giant Waterstones, I have like the main Blackwells in Oxford, and neither of them carried this, and that is Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I saw this in the Liverpool Waterstones and I just snatched it up off the shelf because I have been looking for this forever. I've been looking for this for months and it's been so difficult to find it. Everyone has been reading this and loving it, and so I can finally say that I have this too. A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue is about a young nobleman named Monty, and he and his best friend Percy, who has big crush on, basically go on a tour through Europe, sort of painting all the towns red and just kind of having a blast, and I'm sure that shenanigans ensue. This just sounds like so much fun. I have a feeling that this is going to be a book that I can tear through really quickly, and I'm really looking forward to this. Again, I've been looking for it forever, and so the anticipation and the hype is really high, so I'm really hoping I love this, and I think I will. So that's it for this book haul video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have a lot of reading ahead of me, as per usual, but I'm really looking forward to those books. I think that they're all going to be really good. I'm going to struggle to figure out which ones I should read first, but if you've read any of these books, if you've been looking for any of these books, if you liked them, disliked them, please let me know. Leave me a comment below, and if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe because you're going to be seeing a lot more book hauls where this came from.